back, ladies and gentlemen, to Legions of Champions Series 4, PUBG PC India LAN finale powered by Lenovo and Intel. And now it has come down to final moments. 2 more maps to go, and we'll know who our winners are and which team is going to represent India in the APAC finals. We have these trophies at stake, and not just that, we have a massive prize pool of 10 lakh rupees as well. So apart from that, the most important thing is going to be the fact that you have a chance to represent your country and have your flag on your chest. So I think it's a lot at stake, and the competition is still fierce. The top 3 teams are within a couple of points of each other. So we still don't have a clear winner yet. And one of the most interesting things is the fact that in 8 games, we've had 7 different winners. And is that going to be the case in this game as well? We'll find out soon enough. Shade, over to you, buddy.
Thank you, Mamba. And with that, this is the final stretch for the Legion of Champions, the Series 4 PUBG PC India LAN finale powered by Lenovo and Intel. I'm Shaislayer. Joining me is Apollonia as well as Foxtrot. Before we go ahead with the discussion, let's have a look at where the scores stand. 8 maps done. 9-year-olds are in the lead. 74 points. Level 0 on 71. They've managed to jump over Indian rivals who are now at 70 points. Kryptonite at 67. TG at 60. District 9 at 58. 4F at 48. Chantromax at 36. GE at 30, and Crusaders gonna round it up on 20 points. There's 10 lakh INR on the line, 2.5 lakh INR for first place. That's a lot of money on the line. As 2 more maps, we're gonna jump into Erangel. What are we gonna see? What do you expect?
Erangel happens to be the OG map of PUBG, so everybody here, they're going to be very familiar with the placement of everything, the terrain.
View. Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo, powered by Intel Core i7 processors.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime
From any
win?
other team.
Yep.
It's always been different. We are on map 8 and we still haven't seen a double chicken winner come up. So that means the competition is exactly on point. The locking horns down. Let's see what we find in map 8.
With that, let's dive straight into Erangel for the final time, as we have 9-year-olds in the lead. Cable is pretty much looking for loot, is just about landed in the circle. This time around is not going to hard shift like what we saw in the previous match. It's a soft shift towards the eastern edge, and again, almost all the squads are already in it. Apollonia.
Yeah, so the previous Erangel map that we did have, I'm happy because this circle, part of it, covers Military Island, and I like that. I want to see some play coming in with the Eastern Bridge. Are teams are they going to move over to Military Map to start looting and picking up the stuff that they need? Yes, and we see GE. They're very spread out at the bottom side. Probably, I think that's good for them. That's going to give them the opportunity to get as much loot as possible. They know that they're safe. They probably saw that everyone else has dropped in the center of the whole map.
Yep, if we can actually jump on over to IR Hydra flick right there. This squad has been completely avoiding fights at the beginning. Initial couple of games, we saw them go for that drive out and get gunned down. But now, they're taking a more methodical approach. They're going to stay away from squad. You can see them just drive by one of the squads right there. Find themselves a nice corner spot to hold at the edge of the circle. And you see them always follow the blue zone in, staying away from those head-on duels and finding themselves in that top 3 situation. But that has now been revealed time and again, multiple times. Teams have read that. Will they adjust?
I think they might, because they have to shut down IR. They've been so consistent all the while. We've seen them perform exactly upfront. They're not taking anything from the other teams at this moment. Map 3 onwards, it's been IR show. But yes, we did see a few downloads there. Let's see if they can pick it up this game.
I love the fact that they're driving straight down center circle, and they might just head all the way up Milta and even towards Milta Power, because that entire area right now is fully empty. See the eastern edge, there is absolutely no one. Yasnaya line all the way down from Shelter. Even Milta is currently having squads squads right there. GE has gone into Military Island, but right now they're in pretty much no threat of any squads taking them out. But as I say that, Kaushik as well as Nitek Chowdhury end up taking some fire. They've lost one of the players as well. IR Flicks up on the far side. Rudro spots him out, but he's only got the PP Bison with the Hollow, and looks like he's not going to fire away. You want to keep your information hidden. You don't want to give away exactly which building you're playing from, which window you're holding, because you're already 2 men down. And Kryptonite, again, it is one of the top 5 squads, so I don't really expect them to take any risks from this point on and try and claw their way back into this game. Apollonia.
You know, Kryptonite yesterday, they had a really good run. They were really showing the competition. They did get a good amount of kills. Today, it's been a little bit, it's been slow for them. But 2 members are down. It's okay. We have seen teams manage to survive right to the end, be top 4, with only 2 members. And I hope to see that come out from Kryptonite.
Yep, GE there, in fact, is making their way out from Military Island and into the main zone. So, main island is where there's that huge clump towards that central area. ICTG, District 9, Indian Rivals, Kryptonite, and now GE joining the party right there. And we might just see some action breaking out in just a bit. And there, in fact, the scoreboard comes up. We'll have a look at 9-year-olds there in the lead. 3 points, level 0 in second position. These guys have been the epitome of consistency. Third place, and then eventually the chicken dinner comes through with a lot of kills in the board. 9 kills there in the last match, and they've taken the lead. 2 more maps to go. The end is almost in reach.
Exactly, level 0, they've been performing consistently, like we talked about, but they couldn't just convert for the chicken dinner. Finally, they showed up. Last game was theirs, and it was beautifully done.
Yep. Yeah, Apollonia.
I just like to draw some attention to the map. Now, this is what we're seeing in the first play area. It's insane. All the teams are actually in the center. GE moved from the Military Island right to the mainland, and Crusaders, you know, they had a rough start, but we see them from the west side coming in. We haven't seen this cluster so early.
Yeah, so pretty much why I think squads have just been taking it a lot more safer. Even when squads pretty much end up cluttering up in the middle, you see the squads like IR just straight up head out to the edge and not really hold a central compound, because there's a very good chance that you're getting third-party in. All the squads who are playing edge, as soon as you fire one shot from the center compound, you have your prying eyes from all the way across. There's a lot of windows to hold, and eventually it kind of boxes you in to not actually taking peeks and fights. And if the circle ends up moving outside the building, you coming out, you're going to be sitting ducks. What do you think, Foxtrot?
That is true, though. Once you don't have that circle advantage, it can really bite you in the end. Meanwhile, you see IR, Hydra Flick trying to pick some shots, though, onto the opponent team, but not landing so far. Gives them a prediction out there.
Indeed, man, as look on over at GEG, or in fact, driving by as Axelin spots him out topside. Ooh, he runs straight up into the rock there. He's kept himself exposed for a second or 2, but survives there. That was a scare. You pretty much end up stationary with the players from IR looking your way. Multiple players, that is a recipe for disaster, but Autumn YT is one lucky man, makes his way all the way to shelter. What's happening on your end?
Meanwhile, we're seeing District 9 actually trying to make sure that they perform here. Ping some gunfights here. Oh no! They actually get fired to death.
Wow, that's the way you're going down there. And Betriata, who's been one of the top players in this entire series, is now down for the count, and they're gonna have to make their way out of this tricky situation. They have 2 kills on the board. They are up there on the top of the scorecard, but losing players this early seems like a cause for concern.
Exactly, you know, that was a really strange death, but you know, things like this happens. It does happen. Oh, and we see D9, they do get a nade kill on Crusaders.
Yeah, they get the nade kill, and they do have players straight up as well. Danny S, in fact, is going to turn tail and try and make his way out, while Gunblade and team are going to hold this angle. Any sort of push aggressive play from D9. Smokes going down straight up center at the tree, giving them some cover from a couple of angles there. D9, in fact, expending a lot of utility to get some cover here out in the open fields. Gunblade trying to dance around. Oh, the spray from Danny S with the AK. Finds the kill. The nade's no good. And with the first knock coming through, this might be a small window for Crusaders. He has in fact been the MVP for this Warrior. 3 kills, damage 896. A lot of work done for Squadron that is actually all the way at the bottom. But we talked about this. These are the guys with nothing to lose here in the last 2 maps, but they've got everything to prove for all the viewers. They're all their fans back home, all the fans over here. Daniel's quick flick across, doesn't manage to land the shot, and with that 2v2, there is that small window where D9 can go for the res, but this is what Crusaders need to do. They need to keep the aggression on. Utility expended. He is behind the tree, and there's a lot more rotations required from D9 if they are to commit a resource here to get the res out. Danny S keeping him pinned inside, no movement just yet. How is this gonna play out? I'm not really sure. Danny S moves across, and I think he's looking for players behind. No one really there. No chances of any third partying happening. Is gonna go for that quick loot across. Arc infected, slowly but surely. Deciding to not continue with the flank across. He's going to give up on that and join up with Danny S, it seems. They're not really sure of where the other player is, and I think that is kind of keeping them in 2 minds. Should we go ahead? Should we not go ahead? Has the res already come off? So that sort of information is something we know thanks to X-Ray, but right now, CRS, I think they're just going to back away from this. What's happening on your end?
Meanwhile, we see level 0 trying to third party a fight there. That's against CRS and District 9 itself. You see them landing some shots there. Not enough damage left, if you'd ask me.
Yep, and Dina. Yep.
Crusaders did manage to get a very, very sneaky kill.
Yep, they did manage to pick off 1 kill by the looks of things, and D9, having lost yet another player there, Get Right, is going to be left to his own devices, pretty much hiding in. Level 0 esports, though, the leaders, 4 strong, no kills just yet, and I think that's completely understandable. These are the guys, I think, who will play the most passive in this map.
Yeah, speaking of which, they're already inside the circle, and the circle has just started. I mean, that is good positioning coming out from them.
Yeah, it seems that all the teams, right now on the map, they can't find the correct opportunity that they need for the rotation.
And let's move back over to Danny S as Get Right up on the far side is still holding that angle down. He's made absolutely no moves just yet. So they did in fact get the thirst off on Get Right's teammates, but I think at this point of time, they're just worried about any third partying. This was the case with, I think, most of the matches. Squads who see inherent advantage want to try and get that 1 additional point, 1 additional kill, but it ends up costing them a lot more as their squads all around, and they have a lot of eyes looking at you, a lot of snipers that can pick you off from a distance.
Just like you said, we saw last match, I was actually camping around that care package to make sure anybody who tries to get a little bit greedy gets taken down. So I would say that's pretty much the strategy at this point. They want manpower, not only do they want that rank.
And Hydroflick, in fact, does have eyes on GE. He's inside the building right now, sitting with a 6x on the SLR as Sadie Boy, Nilesh, and others do pull up on top of the hill. 6x on the M24, all right. So he's got himself the bolt action. He's got the barrel as well, in case he does need to go for a long-range spray. Not the best of weapons, I'd say, for a mid to long-range battle, but IR definitely here considering all angles, ensuring they don't really get sneaked upon on.
Yeah, Indian rivals, they are very, very strategic in the way that they move. They pick fights perfectly, and they understand when to back off. Sometimes they do sneaky things like they back off and they get themselves killed in the storm.
Talking about sneaky things, look at Coldzera. He's driving the vehicle flips across, but Michael Schumacher in the house. Somehow managed to try and reverse it in. Makes his way all the way over the ridge, and he's managed to survive. But he's not out of trouble. There is TEG right now in shelter, straight up below him. And he's so far away from the rest of his teammates. One misstep and IR are going to lose a player.
As you can see here, TEG, Lynch is basically holding down the whole warehouse there. He's making sure nobody from TTX is allowed free roam. There you go, he spots him again, and that's 6x.
Yep, if we can actually switch on over to Lynch here, who's got himself the 6x Mini, trying to see if he can find anyone right there. But Colzera, slowly but surely, is making his way towards TEG, but there's 3 players on top of that hill. No one really having given away this position. 3x on the AK. It's going to be a hard spray to hit, even if he does manage to spot them out eventually. But I think he's got his 6 senses tingling. Switches over. 3x, SLR, he's spotted the first player out. The quick peek across, trying to bait a shot out from Madara. But he's not peeked, so there's Aura. Taps away, the first one does connect, but crucial second shots in, doesn't make it work. But look at his teammate. They're brimming with confidence. They have IR, in fact, iFlix moving straight up. He's trying to get some distraction going. He's not fully committing on top of the hill either. There's the nade. Long range, he just lobs it up. But there's no one really there. Everybody's falling behind. Madara spots the nade coming through as well, and he knows, nope, there's more than one player here from IR, and looks like they're not here to just have a dance, they're here to fight. iFlix with the dance across. There are 2 players here. Madara is gonna get double teamed up real soon. They're at the end from above. The nades on the ready. Amit Colzera, the first one in. Nade in. No damage though. Does do quite a bit. Colzera, in fact, does get tagged down to 50 HP as well. Does have quite a few meds to work with. Painkillers, I think 2 first aids as well, if needed. Smokes on the ready. As look at the scorecard. Indian rival, 70 points, 4 points behind. 1 point per kill. If they do manage to get EEG for 4 players, that's 4 points secure. It comes the one off. Does get the first, gets the second as well. 2 players now make that 3. Killua is alone in the corner, and that's gonna be the hip fire. Gets the kill. iFlix and Axelin go huge. Amit Colzera does get taken down, but his teammates are there to pick him straight back up. 4 kills, 4 points, IR on the move.
Beautifully played by Indian rivals. This is something, you know, they always pull these tricks out and show such great mechanics, game sense throughout this entire tournament. And it's just it's so amazing to watch.
Yep, if you can actually have a look at the map right now, the distribution of it doesn't get any better than that. All squads at the edge, but the zone moves towards the southwestern side, and that's going to help 5 squads, level 0, GE, as well as 9-year-olds, unfortunately, do have to make a rotate across. TTX, sitting center circle, can easily play gatekeep to all those 3 squads. Foxtrot.
That is true, though. Just like you said, I don't know what you call it. Is it the caster's curse or not? You were just talking about how IR needs to get more kills on the board, and they wiped out a whole squad.
Yep, that was actually, I think, the exact opposite of that, wherein I said, this is what you need, and they said, yeah, we heard you the first time, this is what we're gonna do. So aggression IR here, 8 teams, 27 alive, 20 minutes in. So we lost only the 3. KT seems like is gonna get involved as well. Let's have a look at 9-year-olds on your end. What's happening there, Foxtrot?
Meanwhile, we're seeing 9-year-old pick up a close fight with the G boys there. It's getting really heavy and intense. They're going to make sure they get themselves.
Let's look back over at level 0. They've ended up losing 3 players, but the entire squad is still up. No thirst coming through. ORK, that is, of course, Crusaders, can move across. There's a lot of points to be had. There's an entire squad that is down, but they take the safe bet. They'd already lost 2 players in that engagement 10 minutes ago. So I don't think even being in a 1v2 situation was still good enough for them to take that risk.
Wow, so many kills are happening across the map. GE just won the fight and now they're moving into the play area. Level 0, they're trying, as you said, they're trying to revive their teammates. And now we are starting to see a lot of different clashes right across. It's going to be spicy. What's happening there, Foxtrot, with Indian
We actually
rivals?
see IR losing 2 of the players almost there. Accident gets saved by a threat there, but they're still in the fight though, 3-man strong.
Yep, as they do have a decent amount of time there to get the reses out. And GE are going to slowly start to make their way into the zone as well. But straight up ahead of them is 9-year-olds. I think they've got eyes on this. Wade's Gaming has spotted the first player out. And Roy, he does get the first knockout with that SLR 6X. They feel there is an opportunity here to close out 9-year-olds. This is going to be a huge impact in who might eventually take the title as Roy, the MVP for GE. And the nade across does do a lot of work. And the Ghostly Boy also down. Kobe from downtown. 2 kills picked up, and Global Esports continue to survive. 4 kills on the board, 3 players alive. Can they do it? Is this their time to get the first chicken dinner? Apollonia.
Well, what GE is pulling out now, you know, like you said, they have nothing to lose. They're giving it their all. They started really quick with the rotations, and now they're just going all in. Wow.
Ooh, the drop comes across, and that does give them an opportunity to push up here. IR, time and again, pressure, pressure, pressure. Amit Colzera is going to be the last one alive there. He's inside the warehouse, but he's got a lot of bodies heading his way. How is he going to work this out? Long range, has himself the SLR, kind of has an angle of where 4-year-olds are, 2 players specifically, but I don't think it is wise to take this peak. He's going to have to play this safe. There's a lot more squads that will be looking to take fights, and he's going to be able to get a lot more points, positional points, by just being safe.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Captain Pons just managed to get a kill, and now he is the sole survivor of level 0, moving into the circle. TTX has just been straight chilling for like the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, move back over, just fire. Up afar, has spotted out Waves Gaming. He's pinned himself into a rock there. Transitions across from Roy. Hasn't been spotted out. There is a decent ridge there. Roy, however, does manage to find a knock, and Colzera might just have action coming his way. Getting ready inside, he knows the push is coming in just a bit. He's got to pretty much hold an angle, go for the pre-fires, else he's not going to be able to take 3 players down. They're coming in from the far side. He's gonna have to go, oh, spots the first, sees the second as well. He's ready to make that move, the dance across. There are 2 doors to come in from, and he's spotted 2 players up. The first one, tagged down, real low, 23 HP. He has the AK, oh, 12, not close enough. The pre-fire was on point, but he needed that instant headshot to eventually give him a chance in that 1v3. Wasn't really the case.
And now we're down to 3 teams. It is phase 6. What is happening with Team 4F? They've been kind of quiet, you know.
Ooh, looking actually at Kinzu, who's taking a long range duel out there, and Roy's been spotted as well. He's alone. There's a long range battle going on with AK God as well. Kinzu, in fact, the MVP for his squad, somehow still manages to keep things going for Tantrum X, another squad that hasn't picked up a chicken dinner just yet. They were very close. They've had close 3rd position finishes a couple of times, but this may be at 5 kills on the board. And if they do manage to clean out the rest of the server, that is 9 players, 5 more, that's 4 more points to be had, as well as 10 for the chicken dinner. And look at that, the drop comes straight in onto Rocky YT. This might just be it, moving across. Rock, also there on kill, but the dance across. 2 tags already from outside the building. Moving back across, there's more players here. This fight has already happened once, but he's gonna come it hard. Roy wants the case, Sadie Boy as well. Does have an angle with the M24. Quick flick across, doesn't work. Rocky YT does manage to push him back there with a couple of shots taken. Roy smokes across. There's an entire wall of smokes down out in the open, and that is going to allow them to cut the distance. TTX currently sitting, where are they? They're sitting in at 8th position, 36 points. So it's not going to really matter there at the top of the scorecard. But on the other end, GE also bottom. So all the top guys are already out. This is a battle for pride. We will, in any case, have another first-time chicken dinner. GE looking for their first one. TTX here to prove the entire crowd, all their fans watching back home, that they are in it. They have been here with an amazing run in that online qualifiers, and this might just be their moment of glory.
That is true, though. This is the time to shine because that was a great squad vibe coming out from them onto this warehouse. That is Kryptonite eliminated out of the competition.
Yep, Ron is peeking through, double peek across, and just fire. Does get tagged there for a bit. 70 HP, just the 3. Has only about, I think, 2 smokes on his end, so he's not going anywhere. Both the squads are inside the zone. As the blue pushing in, it is pretty much going to come down to, I think, that eventual circle where it will collapse. Still, one of the squads just ends up going down to the blue zone, at which point of time, I think TTX does have the advantage in the fact that they're not exactly at the edge, as well as the fact that they have a compound to hold. Ooh, there is damage coming through as well onto GE. Not the best of times right now. Kimzu, however, does get knocked, and that's going to send TTX scurrying across for the rest, but they are sitting inside a compound that they don't need to vacate anytime soon. The blue zone pushes through, and GE are on the rotate. Wave scanning. Coming in from Rocky. Down to it's going to take Wave Gaming out. Bring it down to just a 3v3 at the end. They are down just to the 2 members. Roy inside. The blue's going to start pushing soon. It is now or never. There will be an opportunity for Rocky YT if he just holds that angle. Patience is all that is needed for Tantrum X Esports to take the chicken dinner here. They have the 4 members. They have the utility. They have the weaponry to gun down GE as they make their way out in those open fields. But looks like GE also understand the same. They're gonna have to rely on a couple of nasty shots here from a Sadie boy, the man, the myth, the legend. I'd say of all the players here, one of the highest skilled players in the server here. He's gonna have to take GE through with some nasty shots, try and find an opening for Tantrum X to not gun down GE as they make their way out of the warehouse.
That is true, though. Right now, they're low on man count, if you'd ask me. So TTX is in a perfect spot to win this home.
All TTX needs to do here is just to play the trade game, and Roy is down. Sadie is all alone inside, and this might be it. The final push coming through. They're all charging in. Tantrum X Esports can feel victory here. The nade across, the res from Sadie boy. The nade comes through, bounces off the wall. Will it do enough? No, it doesn't. The bounce is not right. But Roy, the spray goes off, and he's going to dive to the blue zone. At the end, Tantrum X Esports played that absolute perfect. You have 4 players. It is 4v3. You get the 1 knock. You get the kill. We had that mad rotate out with the UAZ at the end because they were out of options. They had the 1 vehicle. You probably take a bet, get all 3 players in on the UAZ and move out, at which point of time, pretty much like how it happened. If the UAZ gets blown up, all 3 players kaboom, map's done. So they do the safer bet there. They move the first player out and expect and hope to God that there is a trade. Doesn't really come in play. And TTX 2v4, textbook finish there at the end. Again, a new team that takes the chicken dinner. As with that GE versus TTX, I think we talked about this before the match started. The squads that are at the bottom half of the leaderboard, they probably don't have a chance of taking the title, but they can walk away being titled giant killers. And these guys probably have put a big dent in the plans for some of these guys who are looking to maybe even secure the title here, maybe get one hand on that gorgeous trophy out there. But as it happens, we are done. We have 1 more map remaining, Miramar. And with that, I'm going to take predictions. Apollonia, you first. It's been a topsy-turvy. All our predictions have pretty much been tossed all the way out. But you get 1 more go at it. Who do you think is going to take this?
I am putting my bets right now Well, I wanna say Indian rivals, but I think 9-year-olds is probably gonna take it. Yeah, 9-year-olds, you know, they've got a lot of consistency, but it's gonna be a hard battle because Indian rivals is a really strong team as well.
Yep.
We have all these other teams, you know, if you're looking at the scoreboard, right, a lot of them has just picked up kills here in map 9, so it's
Yep.
dicey, but
I'm going to put you in a spot. You're going to have to pick one. So 9-year-olds.
I'm gonna say
You're going to stick with it?
9-year-olds.
All right. All right.
9-year-olds.
What do you say, man?
I
What do you
think
think it
Indian
is?
rivals, I'm rooting for them because we've seen them, they get knocked down, they get back up stronger. So they did not perform well this match. The consistency trial, that is where it got stopped. So maybe this was the map they got knocked out, and the next map, that is the final map, they get back up.
Yeah, I think it is going to come down to those two squads that have put level 0 esports also in the mix, if not them getting knocked out in 10th position this time around with no kills. And with that, we will take a quick break. When we are back, we will jump straight into Miramar for the decider. Who is going to be the India champion going to the APAC finals at Bangkok? We will see you folks in just a bit.